Okay, ladies, I guess it's good. It's a good time that we start today. Emily says she's always enjoying the sessions, and this session is even like a 2-in-1 session, like Stephanie had communicated. We would be having like a master class session from the expert herself, right? And I'd explain in a bit why she's the expert, and then we'll also be, learning about her entrepreneurial journey. So, dear Mrs. Sangoleye, you're welcome. Can we see your video, please? And ladies, good afternoon. Yes, it's afternoon everywhere you are. How are you doing today? It's great. It's exciting to see you all join us for today's session. And this is going to be the final MentorMe session, actually. We're not having another MentorMe session again. This is going to be the final MentorMe session for the program. We will still have one more masterclass. Oh no, right? Yeah, well, don't worry, we've got you the best, right? And you, at the end of the session, you realize that this is, one MentorMe session that is just going to be super power packed. Don't worry. Don't take my word for it. You'll miss this program so much. You've learned so much now. Go and implement what you've learned. That's what we want to see. Just maybe, but I mean, let's see as it goes. So today we have in our midst, and I think I'm the most pleasured or delighted to have Mrs. Seun Sangoleye with us. And I'll tell you why. I was particular that we would not have any facilitator from last session take this session. Not because, I mean, they were not fantastic facilitators, but I just felt, they gave their all last year, but she's the only, and I mean, only facilitator from last cohort that I said, no, I have to bring her here again. And she's not talking about what she talked about last cohort. She's talking about something different. And that's just because she's just so awesome. She's got so many parts to her. And most importantly, she's got experience. I don't know, there's nothing you want to say you are going through in business that Seun has not gone through and does not have one or two things, to talk about. But before we talk about that, let me just introduce her, right? We sent you her profile, but I'll read it through again. So Seun Sangoleye is an experienced nutrition educator, international speaker, multiple award-winning entrepreneur. She's a mom in chair for Baby Grubs Nigeria, where nutritious and tasty children's meals and snacks made from grains, fruits, and vegetables are produced. Baby Grubs Nigeria is an innovative social enterprise based in Lagos, Nigeria, with operations in Ghana, Togo, and in the United Kingdom. She's published ebooks, articles on children nutrition, and provides online mentoring to over 350,000 Nigerian mothers across the company's social media platforms. She holds a bachelor's degree in computer science from Lagos State University, programming for infant and young child feeding at Cornell Nutrition Works, in conjunction with UNICEF, and business and entrepreneurship training from Clark Atlanta University of Georgia, USA. She enjoys gardening and DIY projects and constantly seeks opportunities to empower women everywhere. Baby Grubs Seun has received many awards, and really that's why she's really the best person that can teach you about pitching, because she's done it herself. She's won many grants, she's won many pitches, and some of them are the 2016 Mandela Washington Fellow DC USA. She was a nominee for the Future Awards Africa Business category in 2016 also. Also in 2016, she won the Global Youth Entrepreneur Award in Stockholm, Sweden. In 2017, she was the winner affordable nutrition competition, and she came second place, right? In 2017 also, you have the GAIA African Women in Research and Development Award, and she came third place in that competition. In 2018, she was the winner of the AMREF Social Innovation Fellowship. In 2018 also, she was a winner of the Scale Up Agribusiness Accelerator Program. In 2019, she joined and participated in the African Women Entrepreneurship Cooperative training, right? The 1-year training. And then in 2019, she was a winner, NutriPitch Nourish Nigeria Accelerator Program. In 2020, she won the Global Sun Pitch Nutrition Competition. That competition is a big deal. For those in agriculture and food processing, you know that anyone who wins the Sun Pitch Nutrition is made for life. And in 2020 also, she was the winner of the African Development Bank, the AFDB competition that was organized in 2020. Ladies, you see that she's hot, she's hot, she's hot, she's hot. And so without much ado, because we have limited time and I want us to maximize the time that we have today, it gives me great delight and pleasure to welcome Mrs. Seun Sangoleye. You have the stage, Seun.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, good morning, depending on where you're joining us from. The pressure is much. You have put me under intense pressure. I'm happy to be here. And where do we start from? So maybe I should do like a little introduction of myself. I think that's where we should start from. All of that one does not really capture like who I am. It just talks about achievements and in business. But I feel like you don't know me enough. So I'll just share a little bit about myself and then we'll go into the topic. So I've been told to talk about how to win a pitch, you know, the elements of a winning pitch and strategies that can help you win a pitch. Let me tell you an interesting story, something that happened to me 2 months ago. You know, sometimes I think like this might be like a fluke, me winning and winning and winning. But 2 months ago, I was at another program and the people you would call captains of industry, well, not captain, people like myself, or some people that are bigger than myself, were in this training and there were 35 of us in the room and then we're told to pitch our businesses. You know, we're put in a group and then we're told to pick someone from our group and then pitch the business so that we can, you know, implement everything that we've learned about a winning pitch. And then, so the people in my group, because, you know, it was Seun, the pitch winner, they wanted me to pitch my business. And I told them that the purpose of the exercise will be defeated. The purpose is to pitch, you know, so that we can learn how to pitch. But then that day, I pitched another person's business. I was meeting this guy for the first time. And after 1 hour of, you know, speaking with him, I pitched this business. And of course, my group won, as usual. And so it made me understand that I could pitch anybody's business, use the same elements. I have coached a number of people who have also gone on to win their own pitches. And so the elements are sort of universal and it doesn't matter if you're in Nigeria, which is why I've been able to win Africa-wide competition. I've been able to win global competitions. And so the strategies remain the same, irrespective of, you know, the stage where you are presenting on. And so be rest assured that you're in good hands and you would learn how to win your pitches. Okay, so who am I? My name is Seun Sangoleye, and that's my coconut head on the far left. Every woman has a coconut head. That's my husband. So my family is important to me. I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I have 3 children. You can see them in the tree. And I couldn't find any picture of me. I love gardening. I couldn't find any picture of me in my garden. So I put a picture of my children in our garden on the tree so that you can, you know, identify with that. I love to keep fit. And so that's me jogging on a beach. I love traveling. That beach is in Zanzibar. And I love cooking. That's a picture of, you know, me prepping the meals for the week for my family. And I do that, you know, once in a week. And then I put the food in the freezer. I'm also a child of God. I didn't know what picture to put. Maybe I would have put a picture of me in my gele on a Sunday. Gele is the big African head gear. Yes. So that's who I am. That's the long and short of who I am. We'll talk about me as a business owner after I talk about how to win your pitch. So let's just go right into it. Just a minute. Okay, so the very first thing I would like you to talk about, which is always like underrated, but trust me, that is one of the biggest things that can help you win a pitch is to tell a story. Tell a story like every time. You have to, people need to connect to something. I would use examples of adverts that we watch all the time. Most times they tell a story. They're advertising, yes, but they are telling you a story, and that story is what you keep in your heart. Somebody can just tell you, come and buy X thing or Y thing, but what helps you, connect to it on a deeper level is the storytelling. And I'll use the example of that pitch that I told you that I won 2 months ago, which was not my business. But I kept asking the guy, the man, I said, why did you start this business? Because I needed to connect, and I needed something that will help me understand is why he started the business. And that was what I intended to pitch about. And then he told me that he was from Ofada. He sells Ofada rice, and he was from Ofada. And that was the first time I would know of anybody that is an indigene of Ofada. And so the name Ofada rice is, and that's what he sells. It was the name of the village, and he came from that village. And I thought that was unique. Both his parents were from Ofada, they are still alive. And then I also now asked him, is that the only thing that is unique about you? And he also mentioned something about people smuggling rice and how they die, and how it's, it's no longer news. And so I armed myself with those two things, and then I spun a story along that line. And of course, yes, you can. So always look for a story, and your story doesn't have to be long. It's just something that people can connect with. And it might not be as interesting as his own story about being from Ofada, and people dying while smuggling. It can be something that we all also connect with. I'll use an example of somebody who also pitched, he was pitching a security solution. But the story that he used was a story of how every time you're on a website, they ask you, do you want us to save cookies? Or do you want to, or sometimes when Google asks you, or if you use an iPhone or other smartphones, they ask you, do you want this app to trace you? What feeling does that evoke every time you see that that notification? You are not trusting, there's a feeling of mistrust or anxiety, or all of that. And that was what he used to sell, his security solution, about people trusting websites when they're online. And so there's always look for something that people can connect with. Everybody's looking for an emotional solution. And then if you have a great product, show it. Interesting. I have seen this one, you won't believe it. I've seen this one a number of times, even on a global scale. When people go and pitch, at the end of the day, the solution they are pitching, people now ask, okay, so what does it look like? The entire pitch, they go through it from beginning to the end without showing what the product is. If you have a physical product, take it. While you are, before you begin your pitching, you can place the products on the tables for the judges to sample, to see. If you have a food product, let them taste it. If it's not a food product, if it's agricultural, show them pictures of, or bring products that are fresh. People also, I've talked about storytelling, that's in the mind. And then people also want to feel, they want to touch, they want to taste. Is it really that good? If it's that good, if it's as good as you say it is, bring a picture to show. In my own case, I know most judges wouldn't want to taste baby food, but I also always show pictures of before and after. Before a child starts taking my baby food, and after, what the child looks after, and I put a time frame, maybe after 2 weeks or after 1 month. I also put pictures of mothers who are the sellers. I put pictures of testimonials, screenshots. And so you can connect, deeper and know deeper that, okay, this person is not lying. This is what it looks like. Real babies, real mothers, real pictures. So show your product. If you have something really, unique, show it, brag about it. It's your trumpet, blow it. So, and then again, this is, what's her name now? This from this show. What's the name of the show now?
I can't help you. I don't want to be like that.
No, it just escaped my mind just for a minute. Ah, but this is the Queen of the Dragons from that show. I'll remember now. And a demo is even better. So every
Game of
time people,
Someone
Game of
said Game
Thrones,
of
thank
Thrones.
you. Yes, Game
Okay.
of Thrones. It's been ages. It feels like it's been ages since I watched Game of Thrones. But if anyone that has watched Game of Thrones from the show, every time when people hear that there's dragons, because dragons were extinct at that time, nobody believed that they were dragons. And then when she had the dragons, they were like, nah, they're just dragons. They can't do anything. But then when she says Dracarys, and then the fire comes out, everybody goes, whoa. So if you have something like that, let them go like that. So the thing is, pitch is all about showmanship. Now, there's a thin line between showmanship and being fake and being fictional, but be as real as possible. Let people connect. But it's your stage. It's like when you watch all these Nigerian idols or African idols or America's Got Talent, and you are on the stage. You are a showman. Even though you're a business person, you are going there not as a business person, but to go and minister or perform. Just have that at the back of your mind. So a demo is always better. Show it in action. Maybe, so for me, it would be a mother feeding the baby and the baby saying, or the baby is going with the head like this, enjoying the meal, or, rubbing the feet. There is no how you will not connect with that image. No how. And so all your product works. If you have a flying pen, let it fly. If you have, just show it in action. And then always have a value proposition. What makes you unique? There's this Nourish Nigeria or Nourishing Africa program, and I was invited to talk to the participants about pitching as well. And in this program, they chose 3,000 entrepreneurs, and so that means that for every say 20 participants, all 20 participants are probably are in the juice business. There are 20 in 20 poultry farmers. There are like 50 bakers, and like that. And so when I went to talk to them, I told them, the competition is really stiff out there. It's stiffer in here because that there's like every other person, there's so many other people in your business, but your business has to stand out for one thing. What is it? So value proposition or innovation or something that is outstanding or unique doesn't have to be rocket science. And that's the things that most of us struggle with. I remember me too, I struggled with it at the beginning. What's my innovation? Should my baby food turn blue when you add water? No, it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be something like that. It doesn't have to be that my product is the cheapest, is the most affordable. No, it doesn't have to be that. It can be something. It can be as unique as how you sell or where you sell. You can tell them that your own uniqueness. It can even be service related. So if every other person is selling baby food, I'm the only person that does door to door. I don't sell in stores. It can be something like that. It can just be that my own baby food is the one that is only subscription. I only sell via subscription model. So when people subscribe, they pay every month, and I make it fresh and I go to deliver to them. It can be something as simple as that. Your value proposition can be that now everybody makes baby food from maize or sorghum or wheat, but my own baby food is the only one that has fat in it, because children need fat for proper brain development and nobody else is concentrating on that. You can see it sounds like a niche in your business, but it's not actually niche. It's just something that makes you stand out from the rest of the crowd. You can say that your own focus as a baby food business, I'm using my business, so just look for how it relates to your own business. I can now say that my focus as a business is because I've seen the trends. Statistics say that there's constant downward spiral in terms of consumption of vegetables in children. And so all of my baby food has at least 50% is made from at least 50% vegetables. And so when you're looking for vegetables in your baby food, you come to me. That's not actually my baby food. If you are doing baby food, you can steal that. So I'm just saying that those are the types of value proposition that you should be looking at. It's just something that makes you different from the rest. So you can see that that has automatically separated me from every other person that may be in that competition with me. But you must always have a value proposition. And the interesting thing about Nigeria, I don't know about the rest of the world, but I think it might be related to, is that when you have one value proposition, somebody else might come and steal, in quotes, that value proposition. That's good. The only thing that you now need to do is be on your toes, be on your feet, keep evolving as a business person. You must be one of a kind. Even customers will not buy the regular. They might buy, but you don't stand out and you want to stand out. So you should look at that. Always have a value proposition, and it should come out in everything that you are saying. The judges should be able to know from the get-go that this is your value proposition. So for me, I always mention it. I was speaking last week, Thursday, at a conference too, and there were 5 of us, and we were talking about our innovation. They called that program Innovation Series. And so for me, because I'm a natural pitcher, I just told them 2 things, and I said it like 2 or 3 times. And so it was in the mind of other people. And so throughout that session, after I'd spoken, when other speakers are talking, they will say, like Seun from Nigeria, our innovation is this, because it came out. You must bring out what is unique, what is your value proposition, bring it out and hammer on it. And that just sets you apart instantly, from the rest. And then pitch to purpose. I see this also happening a lot. People forget. So people would have talked about, I have the best product in Nigeria. It tastes perfect. It's unique. It's affordable. It is this. It is that. And then you finish. And then that's all. Every time you speak, not only pitching now, every time that you have opportunity to present, always ask for something or do something. And so this is where I also ask you to do something. So after this program, please go to your social media and tag me at Mom in Chief. If you are on Instagram, my name is Sangoleye on Facebook. And one thing that you have learned from this training, or one quote, or just one thing that I've said, just put it there, tag me and post it. Thank you. That's how you can help my career and you pay me for this. And that's also something you must do every time you go to a pitch. Ask for something. Ask. Sometimes maybe it's we Africans. I think it was because when I went for a program and I realized that the Dutch are very direct. And it's not just the Dutch, even Americans are very direct. And I learned a lot from them, and I started doing that too. You can always ask for things. If you need something, ask. Also, when you are pitching, there should be an ask. Anytime, pitching is not only when you need to win money, it's not only when you're in a competition. Every time you have to speak about your business in public, it's a pitch. When they ask you to stand up and introduce yourself, you are pitching. Anytime you are in anywhere and you are wearing the business hat, it is a pitch. And so you must learn that, how to, pitch to purpose. And when I say pitch to purpose, also, when you are pitching to a particular audience, know how much they have in their pocket. So that's what you should ask for. I'll give you 2 examples. Something I always do. It's, should I even say this? Well, let me share. So I always have 2 asks. There's a short-term ask and there's a long-term ask. I'll give you an example of this. So my first pitch, I came 3rd. My second pitch, I came 2nd. My 3rd pitch, I came 1st, and I've been 1st ever since. And so one of the pitches, they said I know the prize money is $10,000. But $10,000 is not enough to take care of the issues that we have or the things I want to sort out in baby blocks. So you know what I did? I did short-term ask and I did long-term ask. And it was like a no-brainer to me. And then one of the judges was like, you're asking for 10,000 naira. Why? You should ask for something bigger because there are other investors here and all of that. I said, yes, you're ahead of yourself. I have long-term ask. But the prize money is 10,000. And this is what 10,000 can do for me right now. And of course, yes, I want that money. And so every time that you are in a competition, this one is for competitions, have short-term ask and long-term ask. Your short-term ask will be the prize money, which is typically usually small. So you just tell them that I have an immediate need that this X amount, which is a short-term ask, would fit. You know, if you give me this one now, I'll plug it here, and this is the ROI. If you give me this 10,000 naira now, and I use it to buy XYZ, or I use it to pay for XYZ, in 3 months, this is what will happen in my business. You do that. Also, if you are offering something, be very, very specific too. I'm sure during your training, you would have been taught different types of funds or how expensive money is. Equity, debt, convertible debt, all kinds of money. So you should know the type of money you're looking for and always, mention the type of money that you want. And then know your numbers. This one, if you have done everything that I said from point A to now, and if you get this one wrong, you won't get it. You won't get it. It just means that you don't know what you're doing. And when I say know your numbers doesn't have to be mega. It doesn't have to be major. It just has to be your numbers. So interestingly, Baby Grub's numbers are not fantastic. But I will always stand by why the numbers are not fantastic. I can explain it to you, and I explain it to the judges. So they can say something like, your income is sort of static. It doesn't go beyond this point. It should be growing now. And I say, if you notice, every block of months, the money might go up because we don't have money to do this. We don't have money to do this. And so we can only be doing this. And that's why this is how much you can say. So you know your numbers, explain your numbers, stand by them. Even if you are negative, your finances is in the negative, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you will get the money. In fact, some investors would rather invest in the one that is going negative because they can see the problem and they can fix it. But if you are looking good and fantastic and making 30 million every day or every week, and making, so in this year, I've made 500 million. Why are you pitching now? Or they ask you, like I was asking that guy, your father man, I said, okay, how much do you sell in a month? How's your business structured? He explained. We trade farmers, we sell seeds, then we sell rice too. Okay, how much is your seed? The rice seed that farmers, how much is this? Okay, if I'm making this per month, then it means that if you sell 10,000 seeds or you sell this equals to this, know your numbers. And it should add up. Excuse me. It should add up at the end of the day. How many people have you been able to impact? How many people are your beneficiaries? If you are quoting data, if you're saying that so many children are nourished, how many children? Where the data from, be able to put the discussion it. And then every time that you are using numbers, make it relatable. It's still like a big part of storytelling. So if you say something like, my computer that I'm chatting with you on is 1 terabyte. For some people, they can't identify with what you're saying. But if you say that with the size of data that my computer can store, if you listen to music on this, if you have music on this system, you can go to the moon and come back and it will still be playing the music. Then it makes it time or something like size and this thing. I can tell you that a baby can be fed with all the calcium and all of the things that the child needs is in there. So make it relatable. Don't just throw figures around. And then interpret your data very well. And then speak the language. When I say speak the language, so many people can understand. I've not said anything, but with this woman that I are saying, you already know that you can imagine some things are coming out to you. In fact, even with the expressions, you can tell this person is looking for trouble, or this person is ready to fight or slap somebody, you know. And that's the type of language, that's the thing that you want to elicit, the type of responses you want to elicit from the judges. Something that I always look out for is when I'm speaking to judges, the judges are going like this, you know, read their body language. Also, when I say speak language, when you are pitching, know the people you are talking to. If you have technical people on that panel or among the judges, make sure you are speaking technical languages. There's a friend of mine who was speaking, there's an expert, I can't remember what her expertise was. And she sells crayfish, and then she put the picture on the screen. And then when I said, is that crayfish or lobster or what is it, prawn? Or she called the 5 things. And this is my friend was, but that's prawn. And then everything you're showing me is prawn. The sample you brought here is prawn. So you that you're selling, bro, you don't even know what you're selling. Don't come and say what you don't know. If you know it, say what you know. Or you have a finance, okay, so even when you're pitching, there's always a subject matter expert on the table. Note that. Always a subject matter expert. So if you are a finance business and you are talking about finance, there's somebody there that knows about finance. Or also there's always, and I'm telling you the figures of malnourished children in Nigeria, and WHO representative is on it. So, but if I'm saying, I was saying that this is the number of children that Nigerian vitamin A intervention has reached, the person will be like, she knows what she's saying. Yeah, yes, she's on point. So speak the exact language. If you don't know the language, please don't even speak it at all. If your audience is local, I prepared this particular pitch for this pitch deck for some students who were going for an international competition. And so I wanted to relate with them. That was why I put Game of Thrones. You know, and I'm sure a lot of us too can relate with this. So it's still the same thing I'm saying, speak their language. Speak their language. And then bring your A game. Always bring your A game. The energy, give it to them from the get-go. You don't go on a stage and say, or you're fumbling with your phone, or is my pitch up, or you are looking back to be sure that you are in fact, as a rule, don't look at your pitch deck. Don't. The pitch is there. It's for them to look at. And as another personal rule that I have is, if you see my pitch deck only, you will not understand without me speaking. The idea is you don't want them to be reading what you have on the screen, to listen to you. You know, from the beginning, I said you are going there to perform. You are going there so that you want to be. Bring your energy. It's a competition. You must go there to win. You are there to win. You are there to own the stage. You are there to be the boss. It's just the same thing like you would do on America's Got Talent. Almost the same thing. Use the stage. Move around. Show them you own In fact, I can't say this enough. Just bring your A game, go with energy, start with energy, finish with energy. You own that stage, so you do whatever you, in fact, if you tell them to stand up and say, you want to use somebody to demonstrate, they will be willing to. You own it, do whatever it is that you want to do. And then always, always keep it short and simple. I mentioned that what it's about. You would see a picture and maybe 1 or 2 lines, a picture, 1 or 2 lines, a picture, 1 or 2 lines. And it's always beautiful pictures. Buy stock photos, give it to a professional, let them make it beautiful. Always keep it short and simple. Don't go and write the amount of clinical. No, just simple paragraphs, simple sentences. Sorry for those that are not Nigerians. Clinical just means
etc.
Sort of, yes. Don't do. There are some things that I put down on my phone that's not on this pitch deck. I just wanted to mention it before I forget. Always add humor. Always make them laugh. People, not just make them laugh. So that let me not say make them laugh. So always look for an emotion that you want to bring out, because sometimes I would pitch and you will almost cry. In fact, when let me give you an example. We're doing mock pitches for the Nutri Pitch Nourish Nigeria Challenge, and we're doing mock pitches amongst ourselves. We the finalists, there were 10 of us, and so we were pitching to one another. And so when I pitched, everybody was just silent, and so someone was even crying. She said, "How much do you need, Seun? Let me give you." One of the participants, she actually reached into her pocket and said, "Seun, please, let me just give you this. At least this will help you buy 1 or 2 equipments now." And that's a pitch to my friends, co-contestants, I mean participants in that competition. But it's true. I didn't lie, it's true. But because I wanted that emotion, so I'll share something with Mrs. Kennedy after the show. It's about how you can use science in your pitch. There's serotonin, all these meaning that emotions that you want to use. So it depends on the type of pitch. There are some pitches that you record the video, you won't be there, but they will play it and watch. That type of pitch that won't be there, I will just make them laugh so that they remember me, because they would have been serious or tired after watching several. You understand? But I would like them to connect and remember that person that made them laugh. So I will use humor in that type of pitch. But if it's a pitch that I know that maybe there's a lot of women on that panel, I might just say a sub story or a sad story that will make them, oh, and they want to give me the money. So always try to connect. Humans connect. I'll share that TED talk. It really helped me. It helped me so much. I don't want to talk too much about it. It will help you further. There's one story from that video. That story talked about somebody who wanted to sell a coin. It was just an abandoned coin or something that the person bought for maybe 50 cents. It was not even up to $1. But you know what the person did? The person commissioned like 10 people to write a story about a horse. And then the person they all wrote stories about horse. And then this person put it on eBay and put the stories. And then everybody that read the story wanted to buy that coin. You know, a story about, it was fictional, about the coin. Maybe it has gone from one place to the other. And then something that was just maybe 50 cents became thousands of dollars just because of story. And so I need you to, understand how storytelling and how connection, emotions can really help you to sell your pitch and help you to win a pitch. I think it's a very key Okay, so I will talk about the team at this point in time. Everybody wants to know who the team is. And I liken that to this. This will just help you understand, even in your business. Your team are like the Avengers that you take to war. Who is the right person? Who do you want to go with you to war? Is it somebody that you go to war with and they will just finish you? So that's the same thing you want to demonstrate in your pitch, either in your pitch deck or in your oral pitch. You want to tell them that I have 10 years experience in nutrition education. I have my production manager has worked in the top Fortune 500 nutrition companies that are on top Fortune 500 companies. So you have faith that, okay, the person that is there, they know what they are doing. My HR manager has, she left Dangote to come work with me. And so, when you say things like that, people, that's fiction. Anyway, don't believe that. But I'm telling you, so it helps you have faith that this team can deliver. If I give them money, they can deliver on all of the things that they have said. And even if you don't have, there are some key positions of my business that we don't have experts because we cannot pay them. And so we can now say things like, which is the truth, that we have a lean team. We operate a lean team, but we outsource to professionals. Our R&D is outsourced to a technical university in Europe. Our you can see now, you want to be like, oh, now they know what they are doing. My nutrition team is this company in this place, and then, oh yeah, that's a good team. So we can't keep those people on the team. We can't pay them to be on the team, but we outsource and we consult with them, and then you look good. So always bring your egg. So look at, you see Avengers, you see Winnie the Pooh. I want to go to war. Who will you ask to go now? No brainer. It's the Avengers that you choose. And so that's what I need you to know. Every time you are presenting and you are talking about your team, for some people, for a lot of investors, they invest first in you, the business person, the business owner, which is why you have to be very, very passionate about your business. That's why I said, bring your A game. And then they also want to know who are the people that are, running the show with you. That's also very key. And then also talk about your growth plan. It doesn't matter if you're a baby in diapers. It doesn't matter if you're a teenager or a toddler. But let them know that even though I'm a baby in diaper, I have vision. I am smart. I know where I am going. I remember clearly, even though now looking back, it was an audacious thing. I remember when I quit my job, 2 months after I started Baby Growth, I said to myself, everybody in the nutrition space in Nigeria must know who I am. If they are talking about nutrition in Aso Rock, somebody sitting on the table should say, bring baby drops. And that happened. Interestingly, somebody called me during the days when I didn't even have money to take a cab. I was in a public transport and I got a call from the presidency office, literally. And they said that they are compiling names of people they want to work with on the school feeding program. And then somebody gave them baby drops. I'm like, okay. And it was something that I had written down, at the initial stage when I started the business. And this was probably 2 or 3 years after I started the business, not now. And so be very, 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 very specific about what you want, your growth plan, and always be true, be authentic. That's why I can go to sleep. If you ask me to come and talk or pitch, it's the same thing I will say. I don't have to think back and say, what did I say in Lambaja? What did I say there? The same amount I told you I'm making when I was in Brussels is the same amount I'll come and tell you when I'm in India. So be authentic, and it won't give you stress because you won't have to be rehearsing. What will I say now? What will I say when I get here? Be as authentic as possible, and that's what people want. When I say people, I'm not saying typical people don't want you to be authentic. That's why we have fake lives on social media. But your investor wants you to be authentic. If you have what? I always say, see, we have problem here. There is no slide that I will give you. I will talk about my challenges because that's the person that can help me. The people that can help me are probably the people I'm speaking to. You know, so I will tell them, these are my challenges. We have a problem. This one is big problem. We don't even know we want to solve it. Be very, very authentic and be very specific on the areas of your strength, mention it. These areas of your weakness, also mention it. The good thing about that is when you are self-aware, now business aware, when you're business aware, you can know how to solve it. And then you attract investor that can help you, fill that gap. And so if I will tell you, these are the areas of gap. Anybody that is investing, don't even bring only money. You must bring money. You must bring this to this problem that I have. You must bring the solution. You must bring this one so that we can complement each other. Me, I have strength in this. I don't need you to come with strength in that too. So please be as authentic as possible. Be as specific as possible. If you need 100,000, say you need 100,000. Don't say that because there are two schools of thoughts to this issue or this idea. If you are pitching, if the prize money is 5 million, I can go there and pitch for 8 million. Excuse me. Some people will say, they will tell you no, because if they are giving you 5 million, your problem will not be solved. But I'll tell you, me, I always tell them my problem is very big. Give me the 5 million. I'll go and look for 3 million. That's my mindset, really. There's one that I did. I think Kennedy is aware of that one. They capped the fund at, I think for the lower fund, it was 2 to 4 million. And for the higher one, they said 6 to 8 million. And when I wrote, I said I need 11 million. They ended up giving me 6 million. So if I had told them that I need, also all of my friends, they all chose, when I asked them how much they get, 1 million. You got 1 million. You got, why? They said, we didn't want to say too much so that they will not give us, so that they will give us, we will say little so that they will give us. Not that we will say big so that they will not give. I'm like, really? So that's my own opinion. That's my own mindset. And that's what I do. And then always clearly articulate problem and solution. Clearly. I'll give you my own example. I always tell the story of how the birth rate in Nigeria is, and I don't know if you know that, it used to be 6 children per woman, but now it's 5.5 children per woman. Well, I think it's going now to 5 children per woman. So it's expected that you have 5 children in your lifetime. And I always tell them that it's true. Me, I already have 3. So I'm on my way to that 5. But more children equals more financial needs, right? More children equals more financial needs, equals even more time off work when you are going to give birth, for your mat leave and all of that. And so if a mother has more financial needs, it means that she needs more money. That's one. That's a problem that is well defined, right? Then there's another challenge of children who are under 5. According to statistics, most of the children won't even make it past the first 1,000 days. That's from when the mother conceives till their second birthday. And if they make it past their second birthday, there's every probability that they won't make it up to 5 years in Nigeria. If they make it past 5 years, then we still have the issue of the challenge of stunting, of wasting. Don't let me bore you with all the problems in my industry. But you clearly articulate that there's a problem in this industry because every single day children are dying. In fact, the statistic for Nigeria is 2,300 children die every single day. I don't know if you know that, it's true. 2,300 every single day. And they die from nutrition-related illnesses. Not because they don't eat good food, don't quote me like that, but from nutrition-related illnesses. So some of them will die from diarrhea, some will die from malaria. As simple as malaria, because their immunity is low, they haven't been eating the right things. So you see that's nutrition related, yes? So that's a problem. I've defined it clearly. And my solution is clear. And my own is no-brainer. A lot of these problems are related to deficiencies, and I will quote the stats that say that they are related to deficiencies. And my solution is a no-brainer. Our meals are targeted towards giving children the preventing these deficiencies. So we have products that will give children high vitamin A. We have products that will give children high iron. We have products that will give children protein energy, because a lot of children are suffering from protein energy malnutrition. But we don't market it as such, because the average Nigerian mother will say, so are you telling me my child does not have vitamin A? Please, my child has vitamin A, I'm not buying. Or are you telling me that my child has iron deficiency? Please, my child is edgy, I think I'm doing well, so I'm not buying. But when I'm going to the funder, I will tell them that this is the problem, this is my solution. And of course, I also have scientifically backed reports, our analysis, to say that these products, unlike others on the shelf, has 10 times more vitamin A. These products, unlike the others on the shelf, and also has the 50% of the daily iron requirements of a child. And I state it clearly, articulately on my pitch deck with my competition here, saying mine is 5 times more this, 10 times more this, that. You see, when you clearly articulate your problem and your solution, you have even collected the money if you fumble in other places. Because at the end of the day, and sometimes you see when people finish pitching, they ask them, okay, so what exactly are you even doing? Are you selling the seed, or you are selling training, or is the rice? Educate me. It didn't quite come out. You don't want that. So clearly articulate the problem. This is the problem. I always say it, we have 2 problems. We have 3 problems. We have 1 problem. So if you say it, they hold it. And then I say we have 2 solutions, or we have 3 solutions, A, B, C, clearly. And so it comes out clean. Always try to do that. Don't leave the judge looking like the guy in the picture. And then talk about the market. People always want to know how big it is. So for me, I'll always tell you, the Nigerian baby food industry is 200 billion naira, is a 200 billion naira industry. So when I say 200 billion naira industry, wow, it's really big, yes. And I will always tell you, baby gross has just 2% of that market share. 2% is 200 million. That's where we are. Is that where we want to be? No, we want to be at 10% in the next 5 years. And then I'll tell you how we plan to do it strategically. So now you know that I know what I'm talking about. You want to give me money too. Please, I will send my account number at the end of this training. I've just told you how big Nigeria market is, but there's an even bigger market, which is the Africa-wide market. Always talk about the market size, and market size is not rocket science too. You will say, I don't know. So please, there's something that people do. And I remember that guy was saying, is the rice guy, that everybody in Nigeria eats rice now. Don't go and say that when you're pitching. Don't. Please, I'm begging you in advance. You need to know your market size. If you say everybody, who is everybody? Define it. What's the demography of the people that are buying your products? Is it 18 to 50? Is it 5 years to what? Mention it. Know that the people that you are targeting, let us know it. If it's the middle income, when he said everybody is eating the rice in Nigeria, I said, okay, no problem. I just put out a picture of basmati and I put it beside this product. I said, if you take this product to, and I mention a place, and this one, which one will they buy? He said, oh, they will choose that one in your phone before they choose. I'm sorry. So I told him that means that those people are not your target. So automatically cancel them from your target. So not everybody is your target market. My brother sells cars and he says everybody that wants to buy cars is my not everybody. In fact, even if you say people that are in this age group, maybe 30 years to maybe 50, they want to buy a car. I say, no, define it even more. Go for, and I helped him define it. I say, the people you'll be selling your cars to are people that are probably looking to buy their first car. and also put them in this particular age group. By the time we finish, we now discover that most of the people that have been buying cars from me are the people that you would call Yahoo boys. And so I said, well, that's a target market. It's not illegal to do business with them. They are paying legitimate money and you're selling legitimate cars. So they like flashy cars, they like this. So you now do your business, your pitch or your business model or your business proposal to that particular audience, to that particular target. Okay, always be very, 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 very specific. And I'm always very, very, very specific whenever I'm, pitching who is my ideal client. I'm sure you would have done that also in class. Who is your ideal customer? Let it also reflect in your pitch deck. So don't be like this guy saying that, look, everybody everywhere is my target market. Be specific on the who, the where, the how, the why they buy from you, and when they buy from you. A funny story was told about someone. How long do I have, man?
Go ahead. You have about 40 more minutes.
Okay, great. So there was a funny story that I heard recently about, how do I put it now? Somebody who started a business and she was doing fantastically well. So people were buying. And then she increased, why are they buying? She doesn't know. She just opened the shop and people are just rushing her. Okay. She started increasing her inventory, increasing. And all of a sudden, 1 week she just opened and nobody came to buy. People are now asking her, is it that you did jazz, which is African juju, that made them come? And then maybe the thing backfired, that's why they've gone. So some people will think it's spiritual. But by the time we did business we x-rayed the business. The reason they were buying was because she was selling what people needed in that season. It's like during the fasting period for Muslims, anybody selling dates, you'll be selling out. You just started the business, I'm selling dates. You will sell out because they use the dates spiritually when they break their fast. And so now, after the fast, 30 days, after you started the business with 1 bag the first day, you started selling 5 bags the week after. Then you now ordered 20 bags. After the fast, you have excess inventory. Nobody will buy because you don't know why they are buying. So you need to critically ask your customer, every customer that wants to buy from you, why did you buy? If they like the product, give me a review and all of that. So be very, very clear on this so that when you are clear on this type of things, it also reinforces confidence in that, in the judges or the panel that this person knows what she's talking about. And if we give her money, it will multiply. Other things that are important, and I've mentioned it at one point or the other, I just needed to just quickly emphasize on that, is the business model. Every time they ask you, and you probably already noticed anyway, the business model is just how you structure, how you make money, how the money comes into your business. Explain. And this thing is more like science at the end of the day, because you won't have, I have slides. You probably have maybe 10 slides and you have to be very, very creative. Use of funds and ROI. Another thing I also always do is every time I'm talking about, when I do my ask, my short-term ask and my long-term ask, I show, there's always a slide there that shows how I've used money that people have given me in the past. So if I tell you, if I come and say, Fela Dorotoye has invested in my business, would you want to invest in my business? You probably know that there's something there that made this person put money. So let me just put my money. And so I do that too. If I collected, I can say Union Bank gave me money and I'm talking to FCMB. FCMB too will say, okay, I want a share of that cake. You see? So always have a slide there too that talks about monies that you have received and how you receive this and the ROI. So you don't see me, I will say past use of funds. And I say, I collected this from this person. I used this for this, and this was the return on investment. This person gave me money. I used it for this. This was the return on investment. And so they too want to say that, oh, we want to, when next year are pitching to another person, we too want our picture to be there and say, oh, Powen gave Baby Bros money and they use it for this. So because it makes Powen look good too, you see. So they also want to have a slice of that cake. So you should do something like that. It helps. And they always show traction, whether good or bad. But please, the good ones will be great to put. Don't go and use negative. We also have negative traction. We don't put it. Put your best foot forward. When the relationship starts, then they will know who you are. But when you are still dating or courting, look good. You won't go and say, I have bad habits on your first date, right? So on your first date, you want to look as good as possible. So show traction that looks good. We had 50,000 subscribers in 3 months. So those are things that you can put. You can say our first shipments of we imported goods from China and we sold out in 1 week. The true ones though, or you say that we have, this business has 20 drop shippers that we sell for us. Those are things that you can put. It doesn't have to be like, in fact, it can also be something like this Powen too. You can say we've done trainings or personal development in 3 programs this year. That's also traction. It doesn't have to be in sales and figures like all of that. Don't gonna say I read 10 books in January. You can say, just give traction that really helps your business a little bit. And then always have additional materials. I also mentioned that sometimes you might be given 10 slides only to submit, but always have something, is it appendices or appendix at the end of your pitch. So I just add maybe 2 or 3 other slides that I know that they will ask you questions. The idea of pitching is not to go and say everything. No, just say enough to get them hooked to want to hear more. You are not going there to say everything. You can't say everything in 2 minutes. There are 2-minute pitches. I've done 1 minute pitching. I've done 5 minutes pitching. I don't even like long pitch. The shorter, the better. Keep it short and simple. Just say enough to get them hooked. Just like on your first date, like I said, you go and look like an attractive young lady, even though you snore in your sleep and all of that. By the time you are now in the relationship, they will now know that you snore. But that time, they have already fallen in love with you. So what and all with your snore, they love you. But look good on your first date, and just enough to hook them for them to want to hear more. And that's just the summary of winning pitches. Thank you for listening. I know I've rambled a lot of the time, but yes, it's just so that I can drive home the point. I can talk about my business later, but I'll take
questions now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Seun. I mean, I was also taking notes because I was like, okay, there's a lot that people can also learn, right, from this. Okay, even though we don't have a business, but yes, we still do intend from next year to begin to apply for some of these grants. We need money too. So, yes. I'm taking notes, but thank you so much. Let me start with the questions, so that you can use that to calm down a bit, because you've been talking and I can imagine that you're tired. So let me take the questions. Just give me a minute. Okay, let me take the live questions first whilst I access. So someone is asking, Stephanie, please help me get the questions from YouTube. Help me get the questions from YouTube, please. We're also streaming, sorry, Seun, I didn't mention this. We're also streaming to YouTube because of capacity of Zoom, so that other participants can also join. Right, so someone is asking, how do you calculate the market size?
Okay, there's an interesting article by this woman, Orekorin of Flying Doctors, about market size. You should read it. Just Google it, market size or African market size. Orekorin. I can't remember her first name, but I think her last name is Orekorin. Flying Doctors. It should come up. Just read that article. It will help you demystify market sizes.
Okay, someone should please Google it and send it to the Telegram group, and also one of the peer group leaders should also send it to the WhatsApp group. All right, so we have a question from Chizoba Uche from Nigeria, who's saying, as a professional in the field of baby food, how profitable is it? Do you encourage young entrepreneurs to go into that business? What standards do we need to observe?
That's a lot of questions in one. But the truth is, I'll just refer you, I'll market myself and say that I run a course for people that want to start baby food. And the first model is about finances, how profitable it is. So we run the numbers. I work with you to see the numbers, and see, just how profitable it is. You need to see. So this one is off of this
Session.
This session. So, but just reach out to me. You can send me an email. My email is still on the screen. I'll gladly take for you. But then the profitability depends on what you know. And so when it comes to standards, the Standard Organization of Nigeria, they have standards. There's international standards too for all baby food cereals. There's Nigerian standards for baby food cereals. So I'll be willing to share with you if you want to learn more.
Okay. All right. So Costa Mutane from Tanzania is asking, how were you able to expand your market to other countries?
Okay, it was easy for me to expand. It wasn't something that I was keen on, and it wasn't something I pursued, but it just took on a life of its own. I think that our very first country was Togo. And then for Togo, because when she was reading the intro, my bio, she mentioned that I do mentoring for over 350,000 women. And that's 350,000 women is on Facebook. We have a group on Facebook where we have women from different countries. I just go on that group. I talk about baby food. I post recipes, all kinds of things. Anyway, just to engage my audience. And so because my audience is very diverse, they started asking to buy the products in their countries. And so somebody just reached out to me and said, I'm in Togo. I'm willing to, sell for you in Togo. And the same thing with Ghana, same thing with UK. They came to us and said, we want to sell for you. We want to be your distributor in these regions. And so that's how we were able to expand to these countries.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you've answered some of the questions you've answered already, so I'm skipping them. Lucia from Kenya is asking, before you started Baby Drops, was there any other business idea? You know what? Let me keep this question to after you talk about your story, because I know your story, and I know that when talking about your story, you'll answer this question. Okay, so let me take some live questions now. Okay, so someone's asking, if you're just starting out in business and you don't have a team yet, when you're pitching, how do you go about this?
That's easy. So what you need to do is you can have an organogram, and you talk about the people that you want to hire or bring on the team. You can just say that you are the lead, and then you talk about key positions where you want people to occupy later, and just say vacant. So that's the smart way to do it, and that's something that we do. We know that maybe in the next 1 year or 6 months, we might hire this someone in this position, but right now we don't have the capacity. So you just say that I am the founder of this. We have 3 vacant positions for this. The company is not able to hire them now, but we are looking to hire them. If it's in 1 year, if it's in 2 years, just say it, and then you put the position. So what that means is that you are the only one running the show, but you know you are not the only one that should be in the next 2 years. And so in the next 2 years, you'll be able to hire this person. So you just say it that you will need maybe what's the word now? Maybe a business administrator, maybe a store clerk, maybe a production worker. You just put those positions. And when you think, as at now, I'm unable to do it, but if I go by my business forecast, by my week, by my month, this or period, that I will be able to hire XYZ. So you can just do that.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Damilola Oloyede. She's gotten the article and she sent the link in the chat. That's very brilliant. If you could just help us also send it to the Telegram group and also the WhatsApp group. All right, so Seun Fakaya from YouTube is asking, is it necessary to have detailed financials in your pitch?
So it depends on how you want it. Okay, so how do I answer this? Sometimes, you can steer the company put out there. Sometimes I can just tell you revenue and profits for the years. Sometimes I go deeper. It depends on what your focus is, what you want to place the focus on. I think that's the way I will answer that. But it doesn't have to be detailed. You don't have to say every month you are making this or that. Just do like a snapshot. And then the snapshot also depends on you. If you want to put your EBITDA, if you want to put your taxes, if you want to, but the basics will just cover revenue and profits for the years.
Okay, all right, let me do something different today. So we have Vimo's Kitchen, who's raised up her hand. I'm going to allow you to talk now. Please go ahead and talk, or get ready to talk whilst I take one more question. Would also like to see your video, if you don't mind. So let me just take one more question whilst you're getting ready. If you're not ready by the time I'm done with that question, we'll move on. Okay, so Sitabile Ndlobo is asking, so what do you think is the right time to pitch for investment?
Oh, you can even pitch your business idea. There are a lot of people that fund ideas. You don't even have to start the business before you can pitch. If you have a very good idea, you think it's a fantastic idea, you can pitch your idea for investment. So you can pitch from idea stage. There's no status or place you must have gotten to before you can pitch.
Okay,
there are a lot of organizations that fund ideas.
Okay, fantastic. So I'll ask one question that almost everybody is asking. Do you have any video recording of any of your pitches? They'd love to see it. I've gotten more than 30 questions of that.
So there's one, but it's not my exact pitch. So it's just snippets of my pitch, but people think it's the pitch. So you might find it on YouTube. I think that will be the Seun Global pitch.
Okay.
But it's not even, it's not the complete pitch, but just snippets of it. Because then I always like to keep things under wraps too. You won't find my pitch like everywhere like that. So at the end of the day, everybody will I will not carry first again. Because then you know what I'm about to say. But and that's the interesting thing. Every time I don't say the same thing. Interestingly, I'll tell you what. There's a participant that we've been on we've been at a pitching competition together. The first one was in Ghana, and then another one here in Nigeria. And so she knew my winning pitch in Ghana. And so in Nigeria here, she started exactly the same way I started, the same, it was my flow for the competition in Ghana where I came first. And so the beautiful thing was that she went before me at the competition here in Nigeria. And so she assumed that I would say the same thing. And it was just totally different. I always do something different every time. Like I said, depending on what, I judge the panel too, before the panel judges me. So you can assess them. You can do what's the word? You can do a psychological profiling, and also real profiling of the people at the table. Who are they? What do they know? What are they good at? What would they be looking out for? And so I also play to that, and you should too. So even if you watch my pitch, it might give you an idea of do what it is really. But you find that Sun Global pitch online, but it's not the full pitch, but it will give you an idea of, what I pitch or what I do when I pitch.
Okay, fantastic. Ukamaka, you can go ahead to speak. 1 minute, please. Please unmute. Unmute and go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. So my question is actually on a startup without figures. You've not launched out your product, so you don't have figures in terms of what you traction. So yeah, so how do you state that so that they know that yes, the business is viable? You've started as by you, and it might be pilot stage, or you are testing the product, but you've not really launched out to customers.
Okay, so that one is easy now. What you can do is what I did when I started my business. One of the first things I did was I went to the National Population Commission. I wanted to see how many children we have in Nigeria. I wanted to know, because this was a business I was going into. I needed to know if it's viable. And so I wanted to know what was the figure of birth, of children. I went to Ikeja. I went to Ikotun. My mom had a friend who was an Oga in National Population Commission. That's a really high role in the National Population Commission. And so I was just mentioning her name, and they were allowing me to see the records. So I saw records of births of children. At that time, I wasn't even aware that children died a lot. So I would have looked at, so they asked me if I wanted to look at record of deaths. I was like, no, I'm not interested. But I looked at the record of births. I knew that, there's a real high birth rate. And I remember the first time they showed me, I said, are you sure these records are correct? That this is the number of, children that were given. In Nigeria, we give birth to at most as much as 25,000 children every day. Every single day. Because by 2050, which is not even far away, we will overtake India. Is it India or China self? As one of the most populous countries in the world. And so, yeah, so you can have figures that can set the stage for your business. You don't have to have the figures of your own per se at that point in time. So you can say, this is the figure of children, a number of children that they are giving birth to every day in Nigeria. This is the number of mothers who are unemployed, or this is the unemployment rate. So if I start this business and I tell people to come and buy or sell, or I tell people to come and be selling this thing like they sell gala, there's a lot of them that will come and buy and sell it. So you can look for figures that just substantiate your business claim or your problem. Those type of figures can help you. You can use that one as traction per se. And then you can even test the waters. Sometimes it's always good to start lean. If you have a prototype of what you want to do or what you want to sell, test the market with that before you now go fully into it. If you're baking cakes, what type of cakes? What's the unique thing about your cake? And how often do people buy cakes, or the type of the cake you want to sell? You can even do a survey and say, I did a survey and I asked people that, will you buy this cake? How much will you buy this cake? Out of 100 respondents, 50 people said they like red velvet. So I know that red velvet will sell. You can do things like that.
Why do I have a feeling that you're talking for yourself? So you like red velvet?
No, I'm indifferent. I'm like, why I did this? Have I added this here? But if you want to give me, my children like red velvet too. So that's why I mentioned red velvet. I think it's strange, but they like it.
My children like it too. I'm not a cake person. I mean, left to me, cake, chocolates, ice cream, I'll pass. I can't be moved. All right, we'll take a last question from Mirabel, and then we'll listen to Seun speak about her story. Ladies, you need to listen to her story. Mirabel, please go ahead.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon. Where are you from? What country are you from?
Speaking from Nigeria, Port Harcourt.
Okay, great to see you. Great to listen to you. Go ahead.
All right. I wanted to ask concerning the feedbacks that we normally get from customers. What if some feedbacks or reviews are faulty? Can this affect the traction and possibly our pitching? Can we have faulty information from our customers, and how can this affect the figure we're trying to get for traction, for example?
Okay, so if you have negative feedback, it's good. At least some people don't even have feedback. So if you have negative feedback, it just tells you that that is what you need to work on. And anything that your customer is telling you is like hiring a business consultant for free. They are telling you what they want. They are telling you if you do this, you get our money. So I don't think that's something that should affect you. In fact, it should be something that you can, it's one of those things that you can spin in your favor and say, oh, I was doing this, but customers started asking me for this, and I started making this, now I'm selling better. So it shouldn't, it's something that you can even talk about. It means that you have, customers have, you have a feedback avenue. They are able to give you quality feedback, and then you can use it too. So it's something that is positive in my opinion.
Okay. Thank you so much, Seun. I'll ask one more question because I think it's important, and then we'll go ahead. So someone had asked that, in the process of pitching, and then your nerves take over, something just happens. You forget your lines. You just, how do you regain your confidence if such happens?
Just continue from where you stopped. I'll tell you one thing. Okay, so I'll use myself also. Nerves are normal. So most times what I do, which was what helped, and I'm not always this confident person when I speak. No. I'll use two examples. The very first time, I'm a very good singer. I used to be a very good singer. So there was this day I was supposed to sing solo in church, and my church there is this massive church. And then I heard the Holy Spirit tell me, go to Psalm, this. I can't remember now. I think it's definitely Psalm. And then I opened it. I was like, Holy Spirit, are you sure you're asking me to open this? Well, they are still introducing, and I checked, and it said, you will speak before kings and not mere men. Wow. The confidence. I heard the Holy Spirit tell me live and direct, you will speak before kings and not mere men. Come on, go and speak now. All right. And then I sang, and that calmed my nerves. So scripture, praying helps. And then another thing I also always do is when I get to the stage, you can tell I'm nervous, right? And then they laugh. Everybody's nervous. It's just human, be human when you go there. And there's this speech that I won. I'm used to saying that now. And then I got to the stage. I'm like, I was pregnant, and I was like, and a lot of people, was a crowd I wasn't used to, was not Nigerian. So I'm like, I used my pregnancy. That was the first thing I even talked about. I can't remember what I said, but I'm like, okay, I think I remember now. I was talking about birth rates. I'm like, yeah, I'm pregnant too, so believe those figures are real. And everybody started laughing. And I'm like, just use what you have. Say what you have. Do what you have right there. If you sleep or you are shaking, I'm like, I'll probably shake throughout this speech. Don't look at my shaking. Just I say that if you need 2 minutes, I'm like, no, I don't need any minutes. I'll probably shake 2 hours, but don't worry. Be who you are. Do it despite it. I mean, if you're not even scared, that's what you should be worried about. I mean, your dreams should scare you. The size of what you're about to win, it should scare you. But still, despite that, Go ahead and do it. I'm still very, 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 very nervous. And interestingly, I don't go into a competition thinking that I will win. I would win. I'm always looking at, because every other person is better than me, in my opinion. Yes, we always have something that is better, especially global ones. How those Chinese people, they always have technology inside everything that they're doing. But just with God, I'll do my small thing and, just take over the rest. Also pray, ask for favor, despite all of these things. And no matter your faith, believe in God that He can make it, happen. He can make it work for you. Even though I may need to win it, I still don't think that I would win. But they always announce my name at the end of the day. I'm like, God, they have done it again. So nerves are normal. I shake, and I will still tell you that I will shake. So yeah, it's fine.
All right, let me just add two things, right? From my experience that would also help. First and foremost, as a HR professional, I always tell people that when you go for an interview, and in this case, when you go for a pitch, don't let your focus be to win the pitch or to win the grant or to win. Let your focus be that you want to create the best impression of yourself. Because you may not win that pitch, but then you will see someone who's listened to you and who says, you know what, I want to do business with this person, or I want to connect this person to another opportunity. It's happened to me so many times. Okay, I can see you now. It happens to me so many times where someone would just say, oh, I didn't get the job, or I didn't get the pitch, or I didn't get the funding, or I didn't get whatever it is, but you know what? I see you, I like you, I believe in you, let's do business together. So focus on that and you know what that does? That takes a lot of the pressure away from you because you're just going there to be yourself, right? Second, is the art of preparation, right? I remember an example, a story or a time when I was in university then, and I was contesting for an election. So I was in ISEC. I don't know how many people know about ISEC. I was in ISEC, and I was contesting for the national vice president role. And I was contesting against the incumbent, who was male. And you also know that we live in a patriarchal society. Everyone, the guy had a beautiful charm. So the odds were really against me. And guess what happened? When I got on stage, I forgot every single thing I had prepared or crammed to say. Everything. It went blank. And then I just started talking. What I said that day, I do not know. But because I had spent so much time in practicing, I'd spent so much time in preparing, you would remember some words will just come. I said, in short, there was an English that I spoke that somebody had to ask me, what's the meaning of this word? And I'm like, you know what? I'm hearing that word for the first time. But they say, you said it, So there's a place of preparation that, oh, by the way, I won the election, right? There's a place of preparation that helps you to cover up for those lapses. Something will just come into your memory, something, you remember a word, you remember something, and that gives you confidence. So even if you are blabbing, the confidence will cover your blab, right? So I just thought to add those two, so that it will also help us, because nerves could really, really be damaging. And so even with the best of people, you find out that the nerves just, just doesn't work to their favor. So I just thought to add that. Thank you so much, Seun. So let's hear about that story. How did you start Baby Grubs? What even led to tell us about your entrepreneurial journey, How did it start? How did it grow?
I'm very interesting.
Seun, sorry, do you want to change your network? It's showing that it's red.
Is it better?
Oh, yes, it's better. We can hear you now.
Is it better now?
Okay, it's not so good.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing your input there. Is it better now? It should be.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay. Thank you for the inputs that you just shared. And they were really, 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 really very, very important, especially in the part of preparing. So even if you don't win, you would know that you lost to a better person. And that's the best way to lose. You know, if you lost because you didn't prepare well, that would be devastating. You know, I mean, for me personally. So even if I don't win, I'm fine because I did my very best. That person was just better than me. I mean, so that one is a fair deal. But if I know that I could have done more, that would be very, very hurtful. So yes, thank you very much. My business business doesn't get easier as you go. I need to debunk that myth. I think I had that myth when I was starting out my business. Well, by the time my business is now 5 years, I will now be madam. You know, I won't have to stress so much. Lies. You are just exchanging smaller problems for bigger problems. But I started Baby Grubs. You would call me. So I'd done other businesses, not in food, not food related. And I knew I would be an entrepreneur, but I didn't know it would be in food at all. Because my background is science, computer science to be precise, and I had worked in tech in 3-4 organizations. I'd had a brief stint in entrepreneurship too, having my own computer. I ran a training center that prepared people for tests, computer tests, skilled computer tests. And so I thought it would probably be something related to that. But when I had my son, I realized that I was clueless about a lot of things. I don't know. I don't know if it was just it was careless at that point in time. You know, in retrospect, it's a silly thing. You know, but they say that when a child is born, that's when a mother too is born, and that was what happened to me. I just knew that babies needed to take breast milk. But afterwards, I don't even know when to wean them. I wasn't sure. I had to go back to intro biology and all those textbooks to say, okay, what did they even say that we should feed these children? My son didn't want breast, he didn't want formula. I was going back to work. And so I didn't even want to stress at that time. But please stress yourself, and it is not even stressful. Breastfeed exclusively. So I didn't want to breastfeed exclusively then. And so I got formula. And then we mixed the milk according to the instructions. And there was a moment of truth. My son refused to take breast milk and to take the formula. I said, well, I've heard it that they say, probably that doesn't just like that one, buy another one. And then we bought the second, the third, the fourth. And that was when it dawned on me that this boy wasn't going to take formula, irrespective of the brand. And so breast milk, it was fine. It was a really, really stressful time for me. I don't think even stressful is understatement. I thought I had failed as a mother, because at that point in time, I was panicking. I called my mom. She said, well, it's been a while. Ask your mother-in-law. I mean, your sisters-in-law have had children, so she will be knowledgeable. Ask her. My mother-in-law said, maybe this, maybe that. She's not sure. Ask your sisters-in-law. I asked them, the responses were conflicting. My friends in church, the responses were conflicting. In fact, responses were so far apart that I was like, what? So if we are all mothers and we all have children, how can we all have different answers? Shouldn't there be like a unified answer about what to feed children and when to feed them and what to feed them? Long story short, I started researching, and it was shocking. It was shocking. It was like I'd been living in this cocoon or this sheltered life. And then I realized that children were dying because of nutrition-related illnesses. I realized that we didn't even have made in Nigeria baby food. There were so many things. It was just so shocking. It was from one shock to the other. There was no local content on what to feed children, like no authentic place that you can go to read about feeding children. There were just so many. I was like, and nobody's talking about this, really. I was just, I went, it was a series of emotions, from anger to frustration, to shock, all kinds of things. And then I just realized, like, look, if nobody's doing something, I will do something. And I started experimenting with a lot of things I was reading. Of course, the things I was reading was from Canada, US, all of these European countries. And they were saying, puree this, do that, do that. I'm like, hey, this is easy now. Even though it wasn't time to win in, but because I was frustrated at that point in time. So what I did was I took an unpaid leave at work, extra month, because I took a week. It was a week only before I put to bed. And so it was almost 3 months when I was to go back to work. And so I took extra unpaid leave so that I would be close to 5 months, and then I could start feeding him. And so the first thing he had was pureed bananas. Hey, and it was like, I could hear the halo. My son took the banana puree and he enjoyed it. And so I said, okay, this one, check. Carrot puree, check. And then we kept on going like that. And then I became what you would call a baby food evangelist, because I had this mine of information that I was waiting to unleash, to every other person. So I would go from one mommy group to the other on Facebook. There were so many Facebook groups. There was Adorable Moms, there was Babes Redefined, Mommy, this, sister, something. And then I would go there and I would talk about baby food. And I kept on talking. And people were asking me questions too. And so I now had so many people asking me questions from all of these groups. So whenever anybody asks a question that is baby food related on those groups, they'll just tag me. Nobody will answer, they'll just tag. You just see different random people tagging you, on the question. And so I said, okay, instead of me just posting on all of these numerous groups, let me now have like a platform. And I just started sharing, on Facebook, on my page, on my profile. And so many people started coming. I opened a group, I started talking. But one thing that now happened, my son started having rickets, because I didn't know the elements of proper diet. He was taking a lot of fruits and vegetables. He was not taking a lot of balanced meals. He was not taking a lot of things that had vitamin D and all of that. And so I now said, they must not hear it outside that this person that is talking about baby food, our own child self is not healthy. And that was when I just said, let me go and educate myself. And I started taking nutrition courses. That this thing that is now an hobby, that is a hobby of mine, let me now even make it something real. Let me make something concrete out of it. Because I was always sharing things I saw in baby center and all of this international everything. And so I went and did a nutrition course. And that was when my eye opened even more and more. And a friend and an auntie then, she called and said to her, this thing you are talking about, you don't know it's a big problem. I said, it's a big problem. She said, she now started sending me articles she had written on nutrition and malnutrition, pointing me to different, what's it called now? Online publications by WHO, UNICEF. I'm like, if this thing is a major problem, then I can make a business out of it. I can sell a solution. At that time, before I even started thinking about selling, I told my husband, I want to start an NGO. He said, NGO in what? I said, this. He said, you want to start, you yourself, you need an NGO to help you. You want to start an NGO, you yourself, you need somebody. How can you say you want to help people that you need help? And so I now thought of, maybe it can be a social network, because otherwise this would have been an NGO, because I was that passionate. I was talking about baby food everywhere. And so I started, I didn't even know how to put a structure to the business at the beginning. But then I now saw something, one business, Little Kitchen. That business folded up, I think 2 or 3 years after I started mine, because that was the one I copied. It was a small business in the US. And it was emotional for me when that business folded up. And so I put structure. So before I put structure, when my son had that rickets, I went to the hospital. They told me that it was nutrition related. And I saw a dietitian. She gave us recommendations, do soya based, do this. I'm like, even me, I will eat this thing that this woman said. So I started asking her questions to help me understand why she prescribed those foods. And when she told me why, And then I went back and then I reduced it to mathematical formulas. So what I did was my science background, that was when it helped. This food is high in this, it has this percentage of this, it has this. Can I find another food that is tastier, that has the same composition? That was where I started composing foods. And then I started composing, and then I arrived at a similar answer to what she gave me, only that this one was more tasty. It had the same nutrition component, but it was yummy. It was something that I would eat. It was something that my child would be happy eating. And so he started, and just in less than 3 months, my son was fine. It was perfect. I said, good, now we can start a business. I now did menu. I wrote the menu. If your child is 6 months and to 7 months, they should buy this for them. If your child is 8 months to 9 months, buy this. If your child is this to this, buy this. And then I launched out on the 1st of April. Mumumi, I didn't know that 1st of April was April Fool's Day. So people thought I was just, because I've been talking about baby food, they thought I was just joking. I said, it's not joke, oh, this is my business. They said, but today is April. I'm like, no. So it was on the 1st of April, 2013 that I now officially launched out. But some people believed that it wasn't April Fool's, and then they ordered. And because I didn't even have money, you remember my husband said, me, so I need NGO to help me. I didn't even have money to start to buy anything. The only thing I had was my mobile phone. It was a BlackBerry phone then that my husband bought for me when we were still, dating. And so I did a broadcast and said, this is the menu. I'm introducing you to Baby Crops. It's a baby food company. This is what we do. If you order today and you pay into my account, in 5 days, I will be able to, I will ship your baby's food to you. And then when I did that, people paid into my account. In fact, Nigerians, the first thing I thought was that who will buy baby food from a stranger online? Nigerians. So they bought and paid. I made the foods and I sent. And that was how the business started. And the business has grown, over time. Per time. So sometimes, me, I'm a very honest person, whether I believe it or not. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing. But I shall say that the business is growing. I just do 1, 2, 3 things, and then our revenue is increasing. God, thank you. Sometimes I have the answers, sometimes I don't. But most times I don't even have the answers. But the thing is, there are some basic things that you should do, like fundamentals or principles in business. Sell really great products, take feedback into consideration, improve, all of those basic things that they tell us to do in business school. I do them, and then business is growing. So yeah, that's really it. But one thing that I know helps, irrespective of anything that anybody tells you or what you have heard, don't have a plan B when you're in business. I don't have a plan B. When people ask me, what is your motivation? Why are you growing this business like this? I say, hunger is my motivation. Because if I don't do this business successful, I will be hungry. And I don't want to be hungry. And it's because I need money. Remember that NGO story, don't forget. I don't want an NGO to come and help me, which is why I'm helping myself. And so I'm not just helping myself, I'm also helping other women. So when I started the business, it was accidental, but then it became an intentional and something that we do at the baby blocks. When I started talking about the product again, I already had all this online platform. So when it became a business, a structured business, I started telling them, how you people have been asking me, can you buy from me? Now you can buy. I told them my son's story, yada. So I know that this product I've gone for these trainings and all of that. And so people started asking me that, can I sell for you? Can you sell? Of course you can sell for me. I didn't even have labels, so there were no labels on my product. There were some that when I didn't have plastic, I put it inside and it was staple pin that I used to seal it, staple pin. So I knew that this thing must just start. I didn't have all the answers. I just launched out like that. And those type of people that when an inspirational speaker say, just jump off the cliff, you don't need to know where you land. I just jump, and I still just jump like that. So because I know I don't have a plan B, don't have a plan B. If you are in that business and you are there to make it work, it will work. But if you are doing the business as a side hustle, you might not devote so much time to it. I might not, grow as much as you want it to. But yes, so that's the long shot of my story. And baby girls now is 8 years. My son is 9 plus. So welcome to my TED Talk.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You so much, Seun. And I like the fact where you talked about not having a plan B, because I tell people that you need to breathe life into your business. And that's what not having a plan B does. So if this is the one thing that you have, the breath will come from inside of you. You will devote every single thing, because it's either that or you're on the streets begging, right? Or you are doing descent barrier, fine barrier, up and down. So if you have this singularity of focus and purpose, somehow it just does magic, right? And then you just then realize that you don't even know what is happening, but your revenue is increasing. People are asking, and you're wondering, okay, what exactly? I now have to even go and get a consultant. Please help us understand why people are buying so that we can, replicate it. And, but it's been an interesting journey. It's been an interesting story. Thank you so much. I always say this, I said it the last call, and I'm going to say it again, that I got to know about Seun when I had my second daughter. And that was in 2015. I know she was selling this recipe book for babies. And I just thought that was awesome, right? Because really, as also a mother, I just wanted something. I hate all this processed foods, all these foods in jars. I don't like it. I like my food for myself to be as natural as possible. So definitely for my children, it has to be as natural as possible. So when I saw a recipe of different foods that I could do at home, wow, it was awesome. And I use that for my second daughter and for my second child. I use that for my third child, right? And everybody that the carrot puree is beautiful. Simple things that you can do in your house. And so I've known her for I didn't meet her until 2019, yeah? But I've known her since 2015. I've known her journey. I've known, I've seen her grow. And honestly, I couldn't have wished for anyone better, right? To come for this final MentorMe session. Thank you so much, Seun. I think this is the longest MentorMe we've ever had.
Let me add something that we don't only sell baby food. That's the part that is visible to the world. We have 7 streams of income, and it's even growing from the same business. And you can do that to raise money. Sometimes you think pitching and grants is the only way. No, you can explore other parts of your business to raise money. So I teach people how to pitch. That's one way to raise money. I also, we sell recipe books, just the one that you just attested to now. We sell even products that are not actually baby food, but are related. It could be feeding essentials. We also have trainings. If you want to start your own baby food company, I will train you, and then you can start your own baby food company. If you want me to x-ray your business and just tell you, okay, maybe just like a strategy session, or maybe a business x-ray, or whatever it is that you want me to do. So we make money in so many ways. We even do influencer marketing. People like Dano Milk, we've done things with them. So even Pick Me called us, it was last week. So that's another way we make money, all kinds of different ways. We have even subscriptions for special classes where mothers can learn certain things about feeding their children or nutrition. There's so many ways that you can make money off of your business, even if it's just that one thing that you're doing. So don't look at it that, they say we must have many businesses to succeed. You can have one business, but multiple streams. We are looking to extend to 10 streams of income from just this one business now. And I will tell you that baby food is the least income generating one, if you believe me. Sales of the food.
No, you have no reason to lie. It's profitable. You have no reason to lie.
It's profitable, but it's the one that is, but it's the one that gives us the publicity, you get.
And I can relate to that. I understand that. And that's why even before the session started, that was the first question I asked you, to say, how are you coping, right? Because I know the challenges. Yes. I know that, the challenges are just real. People cannot afford baby food any longer. And ladies, let me tell you something. I actually took Seun's baby food course, right? Because I also was interested. I wanted to go. So, but one of the first things I did was I went to the markets, nearby markets, and I have a lady whom I used to buy my son's baby food from, and I just told her that I mean, I've been buying from her for more than 8 years, so we become. And I asked her that I want to go into baby food business. So what? Can she tell me about the different brands that she sells? How the business? She just told me that it's not that it's a bad business, but this is not a good time to come into the business, you know. And she explained to me the reasons why. I mean, she even told me that there's a particular brand that was cheap and affordable that people used to buy. She showed me, she said, look at my store. I don't stock it any longer. I only have 2 pieces. And after these 2 pieces, so she just told me, you know, and that's honestly the reason why, you know, I didn't go. But, you know, sometimes you see a lot of businesses, you want to copy and paste. And that's what we all do in Africa. I'm sorry. Yeah, right. And I like the simplicity or the, you know, how real you have just been with us to say that, yes, the baby food business is profitable if you get it right. However, it's not your sole source of income, because we also need to learn this, to say we need to look inwards and see how else can I begin to make money from this? How else can I begin to, you know, generate income? Because at the end of the day, you don't want your business to be like that's one that you said you copied their model in the US and they're no longer in existence. Thank you so much, Seun. Only God can bless you. I mean, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can say, right?
There's nothing you can do. You people should go and just any nuggets that you have learned that was insightful, just tag me so that the more people know about baby gloves and Seun, the more we'll sell.
Don't worry, we're going to do something special for you in that regard. Thank you so much, Seun. Thank you so much. It's been, I think, I mean, no business school can teach us what you have taught us today. It's really, I mean, priceless, right? See, Ayakumi says, God bless you. Everyone is just saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Proscovia, thank you. Wow, so ladies, we've got to end it. I have another session starting in 5 minutes. Thank you so much, ladies. We will continue to communicate with you via email and via the social media, WhatsApp and Telegram groups. Thank you, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Seun, thank you so much. My regards to your family.